Hey, what's up, amigas? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great Friday. It's good to see you guys and gals. I hope everything is going well. Today we're going to be doing our $10 meal, as per always on Friday. We're going to be doing ourselves some delightful sticky salmon rice bowl. That's what we're doing. So we're also going to do our delicious fluffy rice to go with it. We're going to have an egg with it. We're going to do some avocado, maybe a bit of pickled cabbage and some cucumber as well, which we're going to kind of make with maybe a little touch of sesame seed oil and a little bit of pinch of salt as well. So very kind of quick dish. Start prepping up that cheeky salmon. I'm only going to use one fillet, so I bought a little bit more. So it should be about $4 for the fillet, three to $4. Because I want to cut this up into nice little squares. And what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to leave the skin on. So I'm actually going to get the skin nice and crispy, flip it over the other side, cook it pretty much nearly all the way through, take it out, let it rest. While it's resting, make the glaze, then put it back in and just gently just turn them over for like 2-3 seconds, take it out, and then we can serve it up. So I want to cut this. I don't want to cook the whole fillet. So basically what I want to do is cut this into nice little kind of squares and cook them off individually. So it might be a little bit more tricky to handle. That's fine. But what I want to do is get some nice little cheeky squares. So you got nice little crispy skin squares to go on there. So fantastic. But these have been descaled for me, so I don't have to do it. Because I actually asked him. I said, "Is that descaled?" He's like, "No." I said, "Do you mind doing it for me?" He was like, he looked at me, and you could tell like he didn't want to do it. So I was just like, "Do you mind?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." He was like, "Oh, okay, I appreciate it." So he did that for me, which was nice. So if you do ask your butcher or your fishmonger, shall I say, they will take the skins off for you, even if they might pout over it, but still. Also, bearing in mind, because you're cutting these into squares, right? This one's going to be a little smaller, so this is not going to take long to cook. So just bear this in mind. They're going to have different cooking times. If they're all roughly about the same size like this, if you get this is like the belly end, so you can still cook this, you can still use it, it's fine. It'll just take a lot less time to kind of cook. So it's our beautiful salmon. Alrighty. Let's cut this in half. What we're going to do, you see the root here, you don't have to use it, you can if you want. I find that it's quite kind of tough. So we're just going to take it out, just cut it on the angle. So we're just going to remove that, get rid of that. If you want to use it, you can do. I preferably like to remove it, so you get a bit more pleasant cabbage. So if you find issues chopping this, or you're sliding, it's rolling, I'll show you an easy way to do it where you don't need to slide. So if you cut this in half, so we want some nice little short cuts. And what you want to do, right, you see all those beautiful layers right there. If you just take a few layers off, you can just lay it flat, so you got more control over it. So and then you can just slice away. So you're not like rocking and rolling and sliding. So this makes it a lot more safe for you. So you can just take a few layers off at a time. It takes a little bit more time, but it's a lot more safer if you don't feel confident cutting it like it is, like so. We're going to need to salt it, slightly cure it. I'm going to go to a point where we're going to add loads and loads of salt, and it's going to be quite salty, and then you're going to have to wash it off. So, but just very lightly salted. So just about 2 pinches. Just give that a mix up. We're going to add some rice vinegar to it, and then just a little touch of oil as well. You can use olive oil if you want to, or you can use veggie oil, whatever you prefer. I'm going to use olive oil as I've got it here. 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. So there's one. But we're also going to have a little touch of extra virgin olive oil in there, not too much. You can use normal oil, you don't have to have this, so that's fine. I'm about to do the cucumbers, and I'm going to use a little bit of sesame seed oil with this, salt it. So I didn't want to put it in the cabbage as well. If you want to swap them over and do pickled cucumbers and maybe just sesame seed oil, cabbage, yeah, you can do. Just go easy on it, go very lightly. Oh, watch out. A little touch of sesame seed oil. As I said before, go easy with this. Don't go crazy. So I want about half a teaspoon. I've got a little too much on this, so there we go. Or maybe even a quarter of a teaspoon. I say half. Half will be quite a lot for this. If I had more cucumber, then I'd probably say half, but because it's a very small amount, quarter of a teaspoon will be sufficient enough. We're going to add a little few sesame seeds as well to this. Let's have a look where we got. Right, so let's peel this down. So, perfect. So let's give this a little slice down. So in the middle, or the core, they can be a little bit fibrous, so it can be a little bit challenging sometimes. Especially on the mandolin, they can be a little bit tough to push through, so try not to put too much pressure through it, just let it slide naturally on its own. So just be very careful when you're putting these through, because they can be a little bit challenging, and you don't want to slip and slide and cut yourself, so just take your time with it. We peel the carrots down, we slice this on the mandolin into nice little thin strips, and we're just slicing these down into nice thin julienne for the carrots. So and we're going to marinate this maybe with a little bit of soy, a bit of rice vinegar as well. I'm not going too crazy with this. And we're going to set that aside. Beautiful. 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. We're going to add, I feel like 150 grams will be fine. So I do a ratio of 2.5 to 1. So if you have 100 grams of rice, I do about 250 ml of water. So I feel like 2 to 1 ratio, people who do it, it's not enough water. I suppose it comes down to what you need to bear in mind as well is your elevation. Little factors like that can kind of change it. Maybe it works for some people, 2 to 1 ratio. Let's have a look. Little pinch. Once this comes up to a simmer, what we're going to do is cook this. Once it's simmering, turn the heat back down to a low, and then we're just going to cook this out for about 10 minutes. And then what we're going to do is take it off the heat, leave the lid on, and just leave it for another 10 minutes just to steam, and then you should have some nice, beautiful, perfect rice to go. So if you want to take the nuts or the pit out, the best way to do it, using a knife, be very careful. Don't go slamming down, you're going to end up injuring yourself. So just a little tap in there, and it should just come out like so. And then just very easily, just, you know, take your time with it. It'll just kind of come out like so. You don't need to go pulling it, otherwise your knife will go flying off. So let me slice this carefully. So you can use half, and then just carefully, let me take off this little bit, because it's looking a little bit bad. So let's get rid of that. And then we're just going to give that a little bit of lime juice as well, just to stop it oxidizing. It's our salmon. So a little touch of salt. I'm just going to get my fish pan on, and we're going to start heating this up. Right, a little touch of salt on each. So just, like I said before, bearing in mind these little tiny salmons, just bear in mind it doesn't overcook. These little ones will cook a lot quicker than the thicker ones, so we'll just have to take them out when they're done. Right. Just going to give this a nice little mix up. Alrighty, so this is coming up to a heat now, so we should be about there. I'm going to pop these in. So skin side down. So I'm going to give them a couple of minutes on that side, just to make sure they get crispy. Let's turn this up a little touch more. These ones I'm going to wait for that pan to really kind of heat up, so don't want to kind of overfill the pan itself, but these ones won't take long. This is from the belly, but you can still use it. They won't take long at all. Right, so these are crispy. I'm going to turn these ones over, and they're going to come straight out pretty much, because they're pretty much ready. I'm going to flip the other ones over as well. So we've got a nice little crispy skin. Alrighty, so a bit of the cabbage. So I might fill this bowl up a little bit more than I would say portion-wise, but that's okay. And we just need that cheeky rice. So there you go, got that perfect rice. It's all absorbed, it's light, it's fluffy, it's good to go. So we can pop that on there. If you want to cool the rice down as well, if you want to, you can serve it hot or cold, it's entirely up to you. I got it. Right, so that's looking good. Let's put that back on. Let that finishing up. So 1 tablespoon of honey, 3 tablespoons of soy. Right, let's give this a nice little coat with the salmon. Let's pop all the salmon in there. Just going to take it off the heat now as well. And just very carefully. Sticky salmon rice bowl. So obviously the sticky salmon, honey and soy sauce. We obviously cooked the salmon off beforehand. Cut them up, and then crisp the skins off with a little touch of salt. Flip them over. Obviously the smaller ones take a lot less time. I'd say about 4 minutes, 5 minutes each side for the thicker parts at least, and 2 or 3 for the smaller parts. We did avocado and lime. We also had the fluffy rice as well. We also had some sesame seed cucumbers we made as well. The pickled cabbage, fried egg, and obviously the soy and rice vinegar carrots as well. So very, very delightful. Come out very, very nice. Right, so there's our fluffy rice. Oh my god. Let's have a little. That rice is beautiful with that sauce. Crispy skin. You get like a sweet and salty flavor. Oh my goodness me. This is so, so good. Absolutely fantastic. Let's go in for a little bit of egg yolk action. Because, you know, chat likes to see the droopage of the egg yolk, right? It's on the run. Have a great rest of your Friday. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for the support and the love. And you guys are awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you for putting up with my derpiness today. We'll be back on track hopefully by next week. So once I get some rest this weekend. But have a great weekend. Stay safe. And I'll see you Monday for YouTube, if not Tuesday for more Twitch delightful cooking. Anyway, much love, amigos. Thank you again and take care. Have a safe weekend. Bye for now, amigos.